New at 6, the number of victims who had personal information stolen in data breaches last year soared across the country. That's according to a new report from the Identity Theft Resource Center released just today. The I-Team's Dan Lamparello is at the live desk with the impact across the country and here in Maine, Dan.
Well, Marissa, it feels like almost every day we're hearing about another company being targeted by a cyber attack, and it shows in the numbers as well. That new report shows more than 1 billion data breach notices went out to people who had their personal info accessed last year, with more than 1 million of them going to Mainers. Now, according to the Identity Theft Resource Center, the number of overall data breaches at companies large and small decreased by just 1% last year, but the number of notices sent to victims increased by more than 300%, from 419 million in 2023 to 1.7 billion in 2024. Driving the majority of those notices last year were data breaches at some major companies, including Ticketmaster and United Health. The ID Theft Resource Center says it's impossible to know how many individuals are actually represented in the notices that went out, but it's likely the majority of Americans had their info compromised in a breach last year.
Most adults receive at least one data breach notice, but there's a significant number who receive multiple data breach notices during the course of a year. Only 20% of individuals and 20% of businesses say they were not impacted by a data breach in the previous year. That's a huge number.
Now, the center says many of the data breaches last year could have been prevented if the companies involved had instituted better cybersecurity practices like multi-factor authentication. On your side, I'm Dan Lamparello. Greg?
Yeah, the avalanche of this continues, Dan. Thanks for